So welcome back to Sorare Wakey Academy, and today we're going to be looking at bargain basement buys. That's going to be 10 goalkeepers, 10 defenders, 10 midfielders and 10 forwards. We're going to start by looking at the defenders today, and then there'll be a series where we'll look at the midfielders, the forwards and finally the goalkeepers, because I think they're quite an important one, and we'll get some cheap keepers. When we go down this list, I'm going to try and start with the most expensive player that I'm looking at. However, the prices are changing, and I've already noticed that the one I'm looking at the top, as you'll see already, Alphonso Parot, is now not the most expensive on the floor price. So it's ever changing, so bear with me on that. That's why there might be one or two more expensive ones as we go down the list. So as always, I'll also put a link in the description below to check out my watch list on soraredata. You can have a look at all the players that you're looking at, and a couple more that didn't make the top 10 list that I'm giving you. And also, at the end of the video then, as well as hitting that like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, we will be announcing the giveaway winner for the 350 subscribers. So that will be at the end of the video, so good luck to everyone on that. So I'm going to spend about a minute on each player here, so I'll go as quick as I can. The first one, Alphonso Parot, plays at University Católica in Chile. Now, they normally win the league, but last year they lost to Colo-Colo for the first time in like 5 years. But a lot of good players at this club. So Parrott is the first one. I think he's a left back. You see his scores up here. His last 5, his last 15. Played in every game. The last 40 games he's played every game. Looking down at his scores, you'll see here a lot of greens and not too many of these oranges and reds at all. Recently hitting a lot of form. 100 there, 91 and 84. You'll see down here, he was a sub there in one of the games, but you'll see he's always played. And he normally plays left midfield and left back. He is a left back, but he normally plays in that position, or sometimes they push him forward and stick him at left midfield. Looking at his price then, you'll see he's £5.77, and this was my most expensive player until just recently. When I looked this morning, it's changed slightly. And we'll have a look at his price graph. And you'll see here the prices then, he's around that, yeah, £5, even under. It might go up slightly after this video. I'll do a quick look on his Wikipedia, and you'll see here then he was born in Chile, he's 5'11" left back. Looking down at his international career there, you'll see, and this is out of date slightly, 2018 last time this was updated. So he had played 5 caps for Chile, so he's played probably a lot more than that now. Was 20s and was 23s as well. So decent player, played 110 times now for Católica, so I think he was going to be the captain as well, but we decided not to make him captain. Someone else is that now. So that's our first player, Alphonso Parot. Okay, the next player we're going to look at then is another defender, and it's Alberto Rodriguez, who plays in La Liga Smartbank for Lugo, who are not doing that well at the moment. We'll have a look at their team in a minute. But he's a centre-back. You'll see on his, let's have a look at his SL5 scores then. Now you'll see on here, he's got a lot of greens again. There's not that many reds. This is over a year. Not that many reds and quite a few greens. Now, for the price that you're going to be paying for this guy, if he's hitting a few 70s here and there, you're going to be on the leaderboard-ish, if you can all hit 70s. Decent player, but looking at his price graph then, it's just incredible the prices of these. When I've been looking through, it's been amazing. Look at this. He's only just gone up. £5 there, £4, but he was down here, £3.30. So he's going up by the minute, so it might be worth getting on this guy because his scores are pretty good. I want to show you this, and this is on soraredata again, and you can look at the club that he actually plays for, and you'll see him in a position there. And you'll also see that Lugo are not doing too well in the league. They're right down near the bottom, so to pick a defender from here is quite bad, but because they concede a lot of goals, he also makes a lot of tackles, so that's why his scores are normally pretty decent. Something I want to show in here also is you can see the averages, the all-round averages. You can look at top net decisive, minutes played, goals scored. You can look at a lot. A lot of players don't know about this. You can look at the last 15 or the last 5 also. Another thing I've noticed, you can look at the roster. So if you want to look at Lugo's team, look at the roster and go down every single player. You'll see the keeper's pretty good. Look, Oscar Wally. They've got decent midfielders there, so you can go through each one of them and look at them and scout them properly. But also formations, and you can look at what formation they're playing, 4-3-3, 4-3-3, and then you can click on that game and look at it. So if I want to look at this game here, I can click on this and we'll have a look where each player is. Rodriguez again is 61 there, so you can see who's playing around him, who they're playing against, and what scores they all got, and what formations it was. I think it's a really decent tool to have that. So that's the that's formation side, and you've also got stats which goes down. I think this is the whole league, is it? I'm not sure. No, it's just their team. So you can look at their team. You can see how many yellow cards, red cards. A lot of players don't know about this, like I say, and this is through me having the star account with soraredata, so you might need to go and get that and pay for it as well. But let's have a look at Wikipedia, and we'll see here he's 6'3", so he's quite a big guy. He's 30 years old now. Playing for Lugo. He's only just moved there this season, I think. He's played 8 games with 1 goal. Never played international or anything. But that's our next player, Alberto Rodriguez, probably the most expensive, just moved to the top of the list at £5.88 floor price, £3.86 is 3-day average. So our next defender then, getting cheaper as I said as we come along. This one is Michael Pinto, who plays for Sparta Rotterdam in the Eredivisie. They're having quite a good season, to be honest, and he's a left back. He is 29 years old now. I know he's not one of my youth players that I normally look at, but 29 years old, look at his average scores, 58 for his last 5, 54 and 50. His price has hardly ever changed, as you'll see. I put up a 1 month here so you can see the actual price. It's £4, £4.50. They're all around this £4 mark. If we go to his 1 year prices, it's just like at the bottom and you can't see anything about him. Looking at his scores then, as I say, he's doing quite well now. And this is his last 1 year scores. You'll see a lot of 70s, 80s, 90s. This is what you want if you want to get into these big scoring leaderboards. These are the type of players. They won't hit every single time. You see 40s and 40s. He's not going to hit it every single time, but more often than not, he's going to get 1 big score at least a month, isn't he? We'll have a look at the Sparta Rotterdam page then. It shows the last game on there, and of course Pinto at left back. You can click on any game and look down where he plays and everything. But what about his last 40? Let's look at this. And you'll see here his last 40 then, he's one of the top SL5 averages with 46. His all-round score of 11 is near the top. Yeah, what else does Pinto do? Well, there's a few more players on here that we'll probably look at as well. But he's decent at quite a lot, I think. There, his top assist is 4 from Pinto as well. And they're having a good season, look. No one expected that, I don't think. Now, they call him Mika Pinto on Wikipedia for some reason, but it is this guy, 5'9", left back, played for Sparta Rotterdam. You see his career there. He was at Sporting. Started out, in fact, at Sporting in 2012 in their B team. Has moved around a little bit. Now at Sparta Rotterdam, 58 games and quite established. Also a Luxembourg international since 2020. So he's got quite a lot about him. And at this price, I think Pinto makes a decent left back in anyone's sort of squad, a decent defender for them in anyone's squad at £4.41 maximum price you pay today. And so on to our next player, Matthias Zimmermann. Good last 5 and 15 and 40. Played in most of the games, 100% in his last 5. He's a right back playing for Fortuna Dusseldorf in the Bundesliga 2 or the 2nd division in Germany. You'll see on his price here is up to £3.57 maximum you'll pay for him. His price is going up. It's going up and up due to his performances, and we'll have a look at his scores now. His SL5s in the last 1 year. You see a couple of bad results there, a couple of bad scores, sorry. Playing at right back. He's also played at centre back before and centre midfield. So he is versatile. Quite a lot of greens on there, and for, what was it, £3.57? £3.57 maximum is what you're going to pay for him. Good scores all around there. Go and have a look at him. In his team then, we'll see down here that they're not doing great, are they, Dusseldorf? They're 7th at the moment, so I think they should be a little bit higher than that. But he's got some really good scores. As I say, he's a right back and a settled back forward at the moment. Looking at his Wikipedia then, Zimmermann 5'9", so really good height for sort of like a right or left back. He's now 30 years old, been around a while. Now at Dusseldorf, the last 51 games on here, but this, of course, is not up to date. This is only 2018, so he's played a lot more. This is way out of date. But you see his international career, he was quite promising, 15s all the way up to 20s, but has never actually made it into the German side, I don't think. The update might say he has, but at the moment it's shown that he hasn't. But that's Zimmermann then, the sort of outside bet for a decent player. But £2.66 you might be able to get for his last 3-day average. Good one for your team. Now quickly went back to his team page because I want to look at the last 40, and you'll see here Zimmermann, 2nd in the SL5 scores then. Over 40 games this is. All-round averages is on 10. You know, minutes played, he's 4th on the list for minutes played. He's doing really well, this lad. So really want to look at. So we move on to our 5th player, and this is Melly Muhlenstein. A few of you might be familiar with some of my old videos where I've looked at him as an upcoming player. He's still under 23 for another year and a half. Looking at his last 5 then, he's not playing every game. I don't know if there's a little injury here or niggle. Go and have a look at his injuries and do some research on him. but last 40 of 50. Is a centre defender. You see there he's played in a few different positions, but he's a central defender. Looking at his price, and we're looking at £3.36 maximum you'll pay today, as it stands right now. And his price graph, let's look at that first. Let's look at his price graph. In the last month then, I'll have a look at his price over the last 3 months, and you'll see he's on a downward spiral there. He has moved clubs recently, and he's currently £3.56 was his last purchase. So, again, the price hasn't moved too much recently. Looking at his scores, we'll have a look over the last year, I think this is now. And again, a few greens in there, and you see a couple of yellows as well. And he's not been playing as good as he had been in the past. However, let's look at his let's look at all his scores that he's been since joining the game. You see up here, he's capable of hitting 80s and 70s. He was really good at his last club. He's moved to Vitesse and hasn't really settled so much. There was one time down here where he was really consistent, playing every single game. I think he was captain for them as well for Volvite before he got the move. And was scoring quite a lot from corners, quite a tall guy. Let's have a look at Vitesse themselves then. And this is over the last 15 games. Muhlenstein near the top for the averages. Let's have a look at the last 40, because I'm not sure he'll be up there for them. No, because he hasn't played that many games. So the last 15, he's missed his last 2 games. Now, Vitesse are not great in the league at the moment. They did really well last season, but not doing too well this year. And it's not probably the best pace to look at here, because he hasn't played a lot of games for them. But looking at Muhlenstein's Wikipedia, then you see he's a centre-back, 6'1". Started his career at United and Preston because, of course, he's René Muhlenstein's son, who was at Man United for a long time. Went down to Lancaster City, look, and he's now up at Waalwijk and Vitesse. Not played in the internationals yet, but I don't think it'll be too long before he gets into that scene again, into the under-21s or something, or under-23s, maybe moving on to the national team eventually. But he's got a lot of work to do before he hits that yet. So that's my next player, Melly Muhlenstein. Go and check out one of the other videos. He's in there and we'll do an in-depth study of them as well. So we've come to the second half of our defenders now, and the next one's Bart Vriends, or Vriends. He plays also for Sparta Rotterdam, who we've already looked at, and he's down at £2.50. Really good scores. Look at his last 5 to his last 40, and he's £2.50. Good player to have. Look at his price graph overall, and we'll look down here, and we'll see he's sort of up and down a little bit. He's been as low as £2 there and £1.29, so really low in price. But his SO5 scores, I'm going to put these on his all-time scores then, so you can have a look at this. And you'll see there he's hit 70s, he's even hit a 97 once, and for £2, he could be competing with the big boys here. He's playing in nearly every single game. Looking at this, yeah, every game, look. A lot of greens, not too many yellows and reds. In fact, there isn't any reds there, is there? One down here when he got a 2. Playing 79 minutes, he got a 2. But decent player again. We'll have a look at Sparta Rotterdam, as I say. His last 40 then. He's top in the all-round averages. He's second on the SO5 averages scored. Minutes played, he's top. So he plays at centre-back. Big integral part of this team. There's not much in his Wikipedia then. It sort of stops in 2016. Saying he's at Sparta Rotterdam, the youngsters. Well, he's not now. He's playing for Sparta full-time. So that useless information, basically. But he's 6'2", big centre-back, big commanding centre-back. And really a decent player to have in this team of cheap budget players. So we move on to the next one then. This is Damien Roebuck, or Roebuck. He's £2.10 as his floor price, but his average £1.79. He is a central defender, mainly on the left-hand side, but he's got a last 5 of 57. Not played every game, only 80% there, as you'll see, but his last 40 he's played 88%, which means he's only missed a couple of games. Price graph, as you'll see, it's not really changed. And I have bought one. I bought him for £2.20. Just snapped him up because I think he's going to get bigger and cost a little bit more than this. But if we look over the last 6 months, he probably hasn't got much data on this. Yeah, I mean, he started up there, look at £9, but he's come down, found his place, and that's where he is at the moment. Now, we'll have a look at his SO5 scores, and this is the last year's information then. So 13 of 36, 75s. He's hitting a few 75s, and for what price was it? £2? Almost £2. You're getting a really good player. 75 in his last game. He only needs to hit these scores a couple of times, and you're up there with the leaderboards then. Which is why I'm quite astonished at the price of some of these. He's played most of the 90 minutes here. He broke into this side, look. Then had 2 games as substitute. came back in again at centre-back, and his scores are okay. I think he's well worth that £2. Shelling out £2 for this guy. Well worth it. Playing most of the games, and he's hitting 88% of his last 40 games. Hansa Rostock, this is who he plays for in Bundesliga 2. They're 9th place at the moment. I think it's a bit higher than I would have expected, but 9th place. It's okay, it's not too bad. Roebuck, you'll see up there, he's got top minutes played. He's 4th on that list. There's nothing really much on the other. 11 there for his all-round scores. So yeah, he's a good player. In his last 40, we'll probably see. I'm not going to show his Wikipedia because Wikipedia's out of date looking at that. There's too many out of date. But on here, look, he's near the top on the SL5 averages and all-round averages for his last 40 games. And so he's a really good player. And then second on the all-time list with Kolk in front. So yeah, playing a lot, getting decent scores, plays at centre-back. Good player to have for £2. Defender, which I think is number 8, is Juan Mesa, who plays for Sibinjek, who play down in Croatia. He's a Colombian sort of centre-back or midfielder. Really consistent here, looking at his last games, and 100%, 93%. Big consistent scores there all across the board for £2.10 and £1.93. Really worth having a look at. I mean, he was even cheaper than this, going down his last month even, 131 and 97 pence. So really cheap. You just get him, wouldn't you? If you can cover him anywhere in your team, then you just get this lad. He's played, what's this, his last year then? So look at his last year scores. He's hitting these 60s, look. 63, 62, 60. So I think a really good player to have in. If he scores a goal or anything, you're laughing, aren't you? He's made one mistake there when he played in midfield. Still hit a 35. But consistent, plays in most games. Come off as sub once there, I think. A lot of greens in there. And for that price of £2 again, really worth having. I mean, Sibinjek I don't think they're the top side at the moment. No, they're down at the bottom of the league, look. On -9, so he has a lot of action at the back. He's always in there. When he even played midfield there, can hit 60. Looking at his last 15 then, Mesa, 13 for his all-round score. He's got 48 for his average scores. He's also top minutes played there in the last 15 games, so really good. And at that sort of price, budget sort of teams are looking at, it's bringing up them leaderboards like I keep saying. They only have to hit it once, 70 odd. And if they all line up together, all these cheap players line up together, you're laughing, aren't you? But the problem is, how many times can they hit them scores? That's what you need to look at. So Juan Mesa is our next player from Sibinjek in Croatia. So the penultimate defender, Milton Casco, as they say over in Argentina, from when I've been watching the football and watching highlights in Argentina and Brazil, whatever language we were using at the time then. He was called Casco. So he plays for River Plate, got a long contract there still. Misses a couple of games here and there, but he is a right back and left back. I've seen him play at left back a lot, so he's got him down as main position right back. I've seen him at left back quite a lot, but we'll have a look down the scores anyway. His price graph, £1.68, and this has been, it's just gone up recently. You can get him as low as 40p there, 50p. He sort of goes on and off on the boil, as we'll see from his scores then. He's with a big team, River Plate, over in Argentina, who've gone down the league a little bit since selling a couple of their players like Enzo and Julian Alvarez. And that's why I was watching this team quite a lot. But you'll see his scores again there. He's capable of hitting the 90s, 97, 95 there. Not so much just recently. But yeah, you'll see there he's playing at left back a lot. So he's down as a right back, but he's actually playing left back, left midfield. And he used to play at right back. Look at the positions and scores he's getting at right back. So Casco, a really good player to have in this side, who can move around a bit for utility. Well, let's just have a look where River Plate are at the moment then. Because I don't think they're doing as good as last year. Well, it's not even showing it then. Because it's not started yet, has it? So, last year they did okay. They're okay. But sold a few players now and they're left with these. But let's look at the last 40 games. Let's see if we can see Casco anywhere here. Yeah, he's on there, 17. He's not in the top 5 averages. But again, you've got to look at the prices. £1 something. There, he's played a lot of games there. Second in the last 40 games, only to Armani. So, decent player for the price. I think that's an absolute bargain. But that is our next player, Milton Casco, for £1.68, or even less if you can try and bid on someone. And so we move to our last player, and this is Michael Smith of Hearts. For all you Scottish fans out there then, he's a Hearts player. They're third in the league at the moment. They're doing okay. He's at £1.57 is his floor price. £1.31 is his 3-day average. And Good scores again for his last 5 all the way to last 40. Looks like he had a couple of injuries or was out of the team for some reason. But normally playing at right midfield, a few of you guys can comment below if you think he's playing anywhere else because you've watched him recently. But looking at his price graph, even in the last month then, he was up here at £5 and he shot down for some reason. I take it he got injured maybe. But his price is sort of going up and coming down again. So he was up here 178 and then there's one down there at 53 pence and £1.5. People just want to get rid of him. But I think it's a good shout at that price then to have this guy in your team. He does play quite a lot. Looking at his scores then, and we'll do this over the last year, and he's been hitting 60s, look. Even an 82 up there, a couple of 25s, 26. But I think for this type of price that you're looking at this game here and all these recent games, and he's playing 90 minutes in most of them. And he missed one game there, but then came back as a right midfielder and carried on with a 51. So good to bulk your team up with these players. If ever you're missing a player, you can just chuck Michael Smith in and he should be okay. Looking at Hearts in this season, you see he's played on the right there, but they're in 3rd position. They're doing okay, aren't they? Conceding 30, which is a lot to concede, but they've got Celtic and Rangers in this league. And the way I've looked, 31 points to 46. They're 3rd in the league, which I think, don't quote me, but I think that puts them into Europe, doesn't it? Shankland up top, who's brilliant. But they're doing okay, I think. Top 5 averages, this is over the last 40 games, and Smith is in there. He's on 43 for his averages, and he's on 16 for all round. Sorry, he's on 8 for all round score. So there are better players, but not at this price. And we also go down here to the bottom, and we'll see that he is on a few corners as well. He's taking 13 corners in them 40 games. So he's not on corners, but he can take them if needed. So that's our last player, Michael Smith from Hearts, for £1.57 maximum as it stands right now. So that's all the defenders done then for this first video. We're not going to do this the Wikipedia anymore. For the next ones for the midfielders and forwards, I'll just go straight into what we've been doing to speed up the video so you're not looking at loads of crap basically. As always, I've got a watch list. I've called it Limited Cap from Wakey Academy. You can go down, you can look at all them defenders there. There's better defenders than the ones I've shown you, but the prices, I want to get a few low prices in as well of them players. But there's a couple more in there like Duarte, Vidma. Go and have a look at them, scan them all, make sure you check the injuries and do your own research as well. And as stated, I'm going to do the giveaway. I've done the randomizer as well. I put all your names basically into a number cruncher, and I've come out with a number, and we have a winner on that. So I'll show you that in a minute. And as you can see on the page, on my YouTube page, we've got now 395 subscribers. There's another giveaway at 400, so I'm doing these giveaways every video basically. So it's 400 the next one. It's building quite well, so thank you very much for all of you that are watching and commenting and subscribing. Now the winner of this one was Jamie Dean. Now I don't know Jamie, he only put his comment on 23 hours ago. Buzzing to see Lotka in your video. He's someone I'm looking to bring in. Yeah, okay, Lotka's a great goalkeeper. This is from the Germany video course in the 23s. So hopefully your name is Mac Milne. Come and have a look at my my Twitter page. You know where it is, hopefully. Click on that and tell me which one of my giveaways you want. Now looking at my squad, you can now see the giveaways here. We're down to 5 giveaways at the moment, so you can pick any of them giveaways. This is for you. Go to my squad, have a look at them, and decide which one you want. Let me know on Twitter or let me know under this video which one of them that you want, and I'll get that sent straight over to you. So that's the winner with a gallery name of Matt Milne. You can get me on all of these. Look, we're on Discord, we're on Twitter. You can get me at the bottom of the YouTube video, whichever way you want to do. And we'll get the next video out, which will be a lot shorter than this one. It'll be the next 10 midfielders we'll do next. Budget cards, have a look at them because you can really build a decent team here for like, I don't know, £10 to £20 for a whole team. Decent players, decent scores each week. Let's see how you go, and we'll catch you on that next video. Remember to like down below and also subscribe if you already haven't. Thanks very much.